Chapter 1073. Although she was puzzled in her heart, Mrs. Richard knew very well that it would be useless to think too much at this time, because she was already in someone else's car. So it's better to settle down and wait to see what arrangements the other party has. Moreover, her instinct tells her that although the other party looks mysterious, it shouldn't hurt herself. Because I am poor now and I have nothing to do. If others want to harm myself, I won't have to spend so much trouble. Thinking of this, the Lady Richard was also relieved. So he simply sat in the car calmly, waiting to see what medicine the other party was selling. 2 Bentley drove directly into Orris Hill Airport. In a small hangar at the airport, Wales Gulfstream aircraft had already parked here. It was this plane that took Lucy to South Haven last night. Early this morning, the plane took off again from South Haven to Orris Hill, ready to pick up the Richard family. Seeing a private jet parked in front of her, Mrs. Richard was so surprised that she couldn't speak. If Bentley is the toy of the rich, then private jets can only be afforded by the rich. Because Gulfstream aircraft like this sells for at least $400 to $500 million. And if you buy an aircraft like this, you don't need to spend only $400 to $500 million. You have to hire a crew, including 2 pilots, several mechanics, and several service personnel. Aircraft maintenance costs are also very high. Parking in the hangar, and taking off and landing at the airport cost a lot of money. It is equivalent to buying a private jet, which means buying a tool to burn money. When the lady saw this private jet, she immediately realized that there must be a very powerful family behind it. Bentley stopped beside the plane, and the Lady Richard walked down with her granddaughter Olivia. Olivia was also staring at this private plane, when a familiar figure suddenly ran out of the plane door. "Grandma! Olivia!" When the 2 heard this voice, they looked up, and it was Harold who got out of the plane. Lady Richard saw her grandson and said excitedly, "Harold, why are you here? Where's your father?" "Mom." As soon as Mrs. Richard finished speaking, her eldest son Michael also walked out of the plane. Lady Richard was very excited, but seeing her son and grandson lose a lot of weight, she couldn't help but feel distressed. The Lady Richard didn't care about these things. She only cared about herself and didn't care about anything else. But after going through jail and seeing her son and grandson, she also felt a feeling that blood was thicker than water. And looking at my eldest son, there are a lot of white hair coming out, and the whole person is also several years old. He was originally ruddy and blessed, but now his skin is dull and his body is thin, which really makes the lady feel distressed. On the contrary, in these days in jail, Mrs. Richard didn't suffer any crime, and she abused Elaine for a few days, so she didn't seem to lose weight or age. At this time, Harold and Michael both ran up to the lady, who cried bitterly while hugging her son and grandson.